You might not think about it much, but there's a rule book that dictates how every single watt of electricity gets to you safely. And it just got one of its biggest updates ever. We're talking about the 2023 National Electrical Code. Now, this isn't just some minor tweak. This is basically the new blueprint for our electrified future. So let's plug in and unpack what's inside. So you gotta ask, right? Why does a rulebook that's been around for 126 years suddenly need what is, for all intents and purposes, a major software update? Well, it's because this isn't just a book, it's the country's electrical operating system. And just like any OS, it needs constant updates to handle new tech, patch vulnerabilities, and just keep us all safe in a world that is plugging in more and more stuff every single day. And believe me, this isn't about small adjustments. The 2023 update adds 6 entirely new articles to the code. That means the rulebook is expanding into completely new territory. It's creating the rules of the road for technologies that just a few years ago were barely on the map. We're talking brand new chapters in the story of electricity. And get this, in total, there are over 396 separate technical changes in this new edition. It's a massive overhaul. Now, don't worry, we are not going to go through all 396 of them. Instead, we're going to break it all down into 3 major themes that really show us where our electrical future is headed. Okay, so our first big theme, it's all about technology. I mean, our world is just packed with new gadgets, new power demands, and the code is officially catching up. This section is all about how the NEC is future-proofing our entire infrastructure for the 21st century and really beyond. I mean, just look at this list. It reads like a who's who of modern energy, right? For the very first time, we have specific, dedicated rules for EV chargers, for smart energy management systems, and yeah, even for wireless power transfer. The code is also officially getting its arms around large-scale solar farms and battery storage, really cementing them as core parts of our national grid. And check this out, a totally new concept is being introduced here, fault-managed power, or FMP. Think of it as a power system that's so smart it can detect a fault, like, say, a person accidentally touching a live wire, and then shut the power off so fast that a dangerous shock literally can't happen. This is a complete game changer, allowing for more power to be delivered safely over smaller, much more efficient cables. Okay, this right here is a landmark change. For the first time ever, the NEC is talking directly about cybersecurity. It makes sense, right? As our grid gets smarter and more connected, it also gets more vulnerable to digital attacks. So this new rule requires that electrical gear actually be examined for cybersecurity weaknesses. That is a critical step in making sure our national power supply is secure. And all this new technology flows right into our second major theme, safety. I mean, the core mission of the NEC has always been to prevent electrical hazards, and this 2023 update brings in some of the biggest safety upgrades we've seen in years, especially when it comes to our own homes. You know those outlets in your kitchen or bathroom with the little test and reset buttons? Those are GFCIs, and they are absolute lifesavers. They instantly cut power if they sense a dangerous fault. Well, the 2023 code is massively expanding where you need to have them. We're talking all outdoor outlets now, plus specific appliances like your dishwasher. Bottom line, more protection in way more places. And the focus on home safety doesn't stop there. There's a new rule for an emergency disconnect switch on the outside of new homes. This is huge for first responders, allowing them to safely cut all power in an emergency. The code also finally clarifies those often confusing rules for outlets on kitchen islands and expands the use of tamper-resistant receptacles to protect kids from shocks. These are real, tangible upgrades that just make homes safer. Okay, stay with me here. I know this looks super technical, but it addresses a massive, massive risk. We're talking about the huge circuits you'd find in large commercial buildings, 1,000 amps or more. A fault in a circuit that powerful can cause a devastating explosion called an arc flash. This new rule is mandating a very powerful form of protection specifically against that terrifying scenario. So here's the bottom line. This new rule adds an extra layer of protection to stop those incredibly dangerous faults way, way faster. It's kind of like adding a super sensitive, industrial-strength safety switch to a building's main power lines. It drastically reduces the risk of equipment damage, fire, and serious injury. And for our final theme, let's look at how the code itself is just getting smarter. Because let's be real, a confusing rulebook can be a hazard all on its own. The 2023 NEC went through this massive reorganization project to make it clearer, more logical, and just plain easier for electricians and engineers to use correctly. For years, key definitions and rules were kind of scattered all over the place in different chapters. Well, now they've been centralized. All the definitions are in one spot, Article 100, and all the high voltage rules are consolidated. Now, this might sound like boring housekeeping, but for the pros who use this code every day, this kind of clarity is a huge improvement that leads to safer, more consistent work for all of us. So, after looking at all this, the new tech, the big safety boosts, the smarter organization, what does it all add up to? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the big takeaways from this huge update. To me, 4 clear trends really stand out. First, the code is trying to get ahead of technology, not just react to it. Second, it is fully embracing our electric future, everything from EVs to microgrids. Third, it's doubling down on the idea that safety is non-negotiable, with stronger protections for both people and property. And finally, it recognizes that a well-organized code is, in fact, a safer code. The 2023 NEC is, without a doubt, a monumental step forward. But, as we all know, technology never stops moving. As our world continues to electrify basically everything, the demands on our systems are only going to grow. And that leaves us with a really crucial question to think about. What's the next great safety challenge? Because you can bet the people who write this code are already trying to solve it. Thanks for watching.